Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Formex Essence Leggera Cool Gray. Now, before we get into the watch, let's take a quick look at the box here. So, Formex Swiss watches. Formex was founded in 1999, believe it or not. I have not heard of them. Well, it's probably about 3 years ago I heard about them, but I had no idea that they've been around since 1999. So let's open up the box here. So packaging is nice enough. Pretty simple, nothing too fancy, but it does the job. Here is the owner's handbook, Formex. Quite a bit of information in here. So cool little booklet here. And then this is the COSC, COSC certification, as this is a chronometer grade movement. I believe it's plus or minus 2 seconds per day with that specification. I don't know if it says it in this certificate or not, but anyway, here's the numbers. So yeah, nice little box here. Set this back in here, and typical little watch roll here. So anyway, let's get this out of the way. The watch is much more impressive than the box. I'm really impressed with this watch. Number one, it is super lightweight. It's almost not even believable how lightweight this is. The watch head itself weighs 50 grams. And then it's on this nice lightweight fabric strap, and also it has this deployant clasp here, which is really a lot of engineering has gone into this clasp in the watch. I had the stainless steel version on earlier as well, and that was quite a bit heavier. I'm really more impressed with this watch here. So it is a push-pull crown. It's not screw down, but it's still good for 100 meter water resistance, which is perfectly fine for an everyday watch. So this is a ultralight, high precision timepiece. The bezel and the crown is ceramic. It is scratch-proof zirconium oxide ceramic. In the case, in the clasp, that is a carbon fiber composite, which leads to the lightweight, but also there is some scratch resistance here. It's not just a simple plastic or resin watch. It's definitely high technology here. It does have a quick release strap too, so you can change it without using tools. And on the case back here, you can see the suspension system. And this is all that carbon fiber composite, the case back, and this, I guess I'll call it a spring retainer. I'm not sure what it's really called, but you can push this independent of the case. You can see that spring action there. So that aids in comfort and also gives you some additional shock resistance. I like this cool gray color dial too. That's what it's called, cool gray. It matches the strap great. Some little fuzzy pieces coming off of here, but this is quite comfortable on wrist the time that I've worn it and spent time with it here. So you can see the little screw heads there, and that pattern is matched on the crown. So that's a nice touch. This thing is really shiny, but it's very high scratch resistance. It's ceramic, just like a ceramic bezel insert. That's what you have here with the entire bezel in the crown. So I'm very impressed with this timepiece. Let's just talk about the price. The price on this is $1,650. If there was a different brand on here, I think you would have no problem paying that price. I know Squale has a carbon composite case, but it's a layered case. I forgot what the name of that watch is exactly, but there are other. I know Breitling has a case like this. I think it's called Brightlight, and I believe those are $2,500 or $3,000, I remember correctly. So let's go over the rest of the specs here. I did mention the 50-gram case material. It does have a patented micro adjustment system here. So I have a small wrist, and I have it all the way down to the very last hole position here. And actually, let me take this off and I'll show you the patented micro adjust system. So these little pegs just go inside the holes there. There are 2 pegs on here. And what this does, this moves in and out independently of the clasp system. So you can just push this in here to tighten it. And to loosen it, you push this little button here and it pushes out. There's basically like a little sawtooth strip of metal in there, which is attached to this, attached to a ratchet system. So this is very neat. I've not seen anything like this on another watch brand before. This clasp looks like it would be really flimsy, but it's not, because it's this carbon composite material. A lot of engineering's gone into this, and it's not just a piece of plastic. I like how this clasp system works as well. So when you push here on these two, what you're doing is you're pushing this piece in. So there's little teeth here and here, and those index inside of this piece right here. You see a little notch there that goes inside of these pieces here. And that's how you close the clasp. So push this together and these things will move, allowing this to come out. So very, very neat system. So let me get this back on the strap, and I'll put it on as tight as possible because I want to show this suspension system off. This is not how tight I would wear the watch, but it shows how small a wrist you can get away with this. I would say probably not any smaller than my 6.5. You might be able to do 6 1/4. So let's see here. Push this. Guess I can already am pushed all the way in. So if I push this button here, it'll loosen it. See that pulled out? Now you can just push it in to tighten it. You hear the ratchet there. So let me get this on wrist. This is as tight as you can get with this watch strap. So this is tighter than I would wear it, but I mean it still does work. My hand may turn purple, but it works. So anyway, I want to show you this suspension system. If you can see that or not. I'm flexing my wrist. There's a gap in here. So this flexes in and out to allow for some wrist swelling, but this is tighter than I would like. So I'm going to push this button and just open it up. This fabric strap is very comfortable. I think I like the way it looks too. I like everything about this watch, really. I'm quite tempted to buy one for myself. This watch is on loan from a random Rob, so I'll be sending it off to another guy here soon. Yeah, I'll have to send it off. I'm almost tempted to keep it. So it does have a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. I already mentioned the 100-meter water resistance, and it is just a push-pull crown. The winding does sound a little weird on it, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. So first position should be the date. Yep. So we're advancing the date there. And then this is time setting and hacking. I really do like this watch. Let me zoom in and we can check out the dial. There's really not much to see here. It's just kind of a plain gray dial, no texture or anything. Looks like a matte gray. It's not even metallic. On the other one I had, it had a black dial, and you could really see the machining there on the date where it kind of slopes down on both sides. Not as easy to see it with this matte dial. Applied indices and printed Formex Essence logo there, and automatic chronometer. All right, let's, we need to go over the dimensions. So it is a little bit larger than I would like. It is 50 millimeter lug to lug. The case diameter is 43. I think it doesn't look as big as the specs. I think because of the black case, it looks a little smaller. Thickness on this, 11.3. So that's nice and thin. And then the crown size is 6.5 millimeter. Everything looks proportional on this thing. Crown size looks good to the size of the case. So let's get this on wrist, and then we'll close out with the Loom shot. Make sure I'll bring my SKX over here. We can compare it side by side. Yeah, it does look a little big, but the weight of this thing, the size really doesn't matter because it's still lightweight. It's just amazing. It really is how light this is. And here we are zoomed out. I really don't have that many black watches other than my G-Shocks. No, we didn't even look at the movement yet. Let's take a look at the movement, and then we'll look at this compared to my SKX for size reference. So, very nice finished movement. I always like looking at mechanical movements. Okay, we'll bring the SKX over. So this one is 42 by, I think, 48. I should have this memorized by heart, but I don't. All right, so before we get into Loom, if you could go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't already, like the video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this watch. I wish you guys could feel this in your hand. It's, like I said, it's really light. It's amazing how light this is. It's essentially the same weight as, well, this isn't a fair, I got the Gen 1 combi bracelet. It's kind of heavy. So I would say it's about the same as this. So it's amazing. All right, let me pause the video and be right back with the Loom. All right, so on the left we have the Formex Essence Leggera, and on the right we have my SKX 009. I would say by eye, the Loom on the SKX is a little bit better, but I would say that's because of the larger area for the Loom to be applied on the indices and on the hands. But the Loom on the Formex is quite fine in my opinion. I don't care that much about the Loom. It's not one of my main criteria, but I would say this Loom is plenty good. So before you guys sign off the video here, I wanted to show you an interesting thing with this case. When I was hitting with the UV light, it, in the video is black in the daylight or normal light, but when I hit it with this UV light, it looks like a bluish gray color. So that's kind of neat. So I'm not sure if this is dyed or how that works, but it almost looks like a copper green, really. So just something neat that I discovered while charging this thing. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.